Before this video starts, I would like to showcase a few comments. I'm going to start doing this in every video, so if you guys have any questions, statements, anything like that, throw them down in the comment section and you could be featured in my next video. So the first question says, what is your average heart rate on easy runs? I try to keep my heart rate below 150 on easy run days. And then the next question I had was, are you wanting to run professionally if you're given the opportunity? And obviously I think that's like the all-time dream. If I'm given the opportunity, of course I would take it, but obviously those chances are very, very slim. Also, another thing, before this video starts, I would like to showcase my beautiful tripod I have here, as I don't actually have a tripod yet. This is what we are working with currently. I mean, come on. That is just absolutely beautiful. You can't beat that. Now we're going to become the person I absolutely despise. I'm going to become the person that still lives in high school. We're going to go back to my high school videos and kind of react and talk about my races from high school. So I have a lot of races that I uploaded to my channel that are from high school. I think I started consistently posting on my channel senior year cross-country season. Didn't really get a whole lot of footage of races from my cross-country season, I don't believe. I could be wrong. I honestly don't even remember what I uploaded back then. But I know I did get a lot of track races uploaded to my YouTube channel. So we're just going to go back in my videos and look at some of those races and kind of like commentate them. Alright, so I just found my first cross-country race of my senior year that was uploaded to my YouTube channel. It's a 2-minute and 11-second video, and the racing footage doesn't start until 1:30 in. So about 40 seconds of racing footage here. I've started playing it. The first clip is just basically me at the start. Going into this race, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I know I had some pretty big goals for the season, especially compared to what I ran my junior year, because my junior year I was still playing soccer. So my senior year was the year I really started to kind of really focus on running and actually start training. Here is probably around like 1.5 miles in, maybe. Looking pretty strong, and then this is just the finish. First place, 16:38, and that was actually like a huge success kind of for me, because going into this race, technically my cross-country PR was 17 flat, so to run 16:36, and on top of that, my school record was, or I ran 16:38, but my school record was 16:36, and I know that's probably really bad compared to a lot of schools out there, and I get that, but I came from a super tiny school, not a lot of running background at this school, so 2 seconds off in my first race, I was like, man, this is going to be a really good year for me. And I was kind of disappointed though that I didn't break it in my first race, but we'll see if I have any more cross-country races on my YouTube channel. But basically every race after this I ran faster than 16:36. Alright, so this is my PR from my senior year. This is a really big meet and really well-known meet in Ohio. This is the Centerville Saturday Night Lights. So this was a really big meet for me because I ended up individually kind of getting into the championship race. So the way this is set up, it's such a big meet that there's 3 different races. There's Varsity B, Varsity A, and Championship. And every year before this, since my team wasn't very competitive, we always ran in Varsity B. And then this year, my team ran in Varsity B, and I ran alone in Championship. So it was really cool to be able to get into that race. That was like a huge thing for me. So I ended up taking advantage of it. I mean, you can see this meet is absolutely awesome. It's in the dark, there's spotlights everywhere, and it's just a really fun atmosphere, and it's a very fast course. So here's the finish, and coming down it loops around the track, and then you finish on the straightaway. And going down the finish, I saw the clock and I was like, holy crap, I'm close to breaking 16. And that was my all-time goal for the cross-country season. On this door actually behind me right here, I still have it up to where I wrote down, before the season started, I was like, break 16. And I broke it here. I barely broke it. I ran 15:59.5, and I was probably 17th place probably. But super awesome meet. I was so happy with that and really happy to check that off my list. So I think that's all for cross-country races on my YouTube channel as far as footage I have, but I ended up going on to win the district meet, placed 14th, I believe, at the regional meet, made the state meet for the first time ever, and ended up placing 31st at the Division I state meet in Ohio. Was a really solid year for me. The state meet was very, very sloppy though, and like the worst year ever for the state meet. And so, of course, the year I make it, it's absolutely disgusting out. But overall, a really solid year. Now let's get into some track races. All right, so we're gonna skip around now because I think this video is running a little bit long. So I want to kind of hit the important races. There was a lot of track meets where I kind of just ran whatever, and it was decent, but nothing extremely cool or anything. So this race is by far the worst experience I've had at a race as far as weather goes. This is the 2019 Eastern Relays, and if you remember anything about it, it was just above freezing temperature. It was probably around like 39, 40 degrees, and sideways raining. Like the hardest rain I've ever seen. It was so bad. So I'll go ahead and play this. Here's a clip of it. I was running the 3200. I was in the second heat, and going into it, I think I could have ran really good if these conditions didn't happen. Still ended up PRing despite the awful conditions, but I remember I warmed up like in a parking garage because it literally just wouldn't stop raining. It rained for hours. It rained so hard for like 5 hours straight, and you know, they never canceled it or anything, so did end up having to go out there and run. There you go though, 9:40.7, so a 2-second PR, 2 seconds I broke my own school record by. Overall, a really solid race. I think I could have ran extremely fast though if the if the weather was a little bit better, but overall still a pretty solid race. Okay, this is finally the race where I broke the school record in the mile. I ended up running 4:21. Now, this is definitely the coolest experience I've had at any race ever, including college. This is the Dream Mile at a high school near me. They do the super cool thing. They take hurdles, put them on the track, line the track, you get introductions. It's super cool, and it's super stacked. So I remember I got invited to this, and because you have to like qualify or be invited or whatever, and I was super stoked. I remember I wasn't going to run the mile again, and I wasn't going to break the school record, and then my coach told me like, hey, they invited you or you qualified or whatever for this meet. So I was like, I feel like we have to do it. So I went to do it. I'm going to skip around a little bit because I did record this entire video as a whole. I remember, see, I'm dead last right now coming through, and I remember going through, I was dead last, and we ran through like 61. I ran through 61. So the leaders were like 58. So it went out really hard. The year before this, it was finished in like 4:04, I believe. Definitely wasn't that fast this year, and went out way too hard. But slowly, my strategy was I knew everyone was going to be kind of hyped up because of the crowd and stuff. So I wanted to go out slow and just slowly kind of move up. So coming through the second lap, I was probably like midway through the pack, which is, you know, pretty solid. And then skip through a little bit more. Oh, froze a little bit. So this is coming into the third lap. I was feeling it. So this is going into the last lap. I knew I had to put down a pretty solid kick to do something special here. So ended up putting in a solid kick. And this is coming down the home stretch. Put in a kick. Slowly got to the finish line. Still had a pretty solid kick. I think I got out-kicked by one guy though. And ran 422.6. I think the school record was 423. I misspoke. But overall, super happy with how that race went. 422 for my PR in high school. That may have been 422 full mile now that I think about it though, because that was a full mile race. So it may have been 421 1600, or it was 422 1600 and like 423 full mile. Not sure. But overall, really happy with how that race went. All right, here we go. I haven't watched this race ever, I don't believe. I think I just put it into iMovie and uploaded it. Like, I didn't even want to watch it. this is my last high school race, and it did not go to plan at all. So this is districts my senior year, and going into districts, I'll just play this because it is pretty long and kind of talk over it. But going into districts, I ended up picking the 3200 to run. Could have picked the 16 or the 32. Don't think I could have done both because my district is pretty stacked. So I had to pick one or the other. Ended up picking the 32 as I thought it'd be my best chance to get out. And coming off a win in cross country at districts and coming off breaking the mile school record, 32 school record, even though obviously they weren't crazy fast times, I thought, you know, I could, I'm going to get out, is what I was thinking in my mind. I was like, I'm going to get out of districts. Well, that didn't happen. We'll slowly fast forward through this, but went out with the lead. There was 5 guys in my district that were really, really good, including me, and I was like, well, one of us isn't going to make it out. So here you can already tell there's a huge gap. 5 guys were almost 100 meters ahead of the 6th guy, and it basically stayed that way the whole entire race. And then let's see here, I'm gonna try to get towards the end. Alright, so this is me coming in to like 100 meters to go. I paused the video and I just want to talk for a second and want to kind of give a little bit of motivation and background. So going into this race, I had basically so many races just outkicked people, and I shouldn't have had this mindset, but going into these last few laps, I was still with the 4th guy. It was me and him, 4th and 5th. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, there's no way I get out-kicked. And I just kept thinking that, like, man, there's no way I get out-kicked. If I just stick with him, I'll just out-kick him. I'll take 4th and I'll qualify for regionals, because top 4 get to regionals. And that's just what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, I'll just out-kick him. Going into 100 meters, 100-meter hits, and he dust me at the line. He beat me by 0.04 seconds. I did end up passing him with like 50 meters to go. I think I was like a step ahead of him, but he ended up coming back and leaning me at the line, and I was absolutely devastated. But I will tell you this, I think it is one of the best things that's ever happened to me in high school racing. I think at the time I was way too cocky and needed to be put in my place, because going into the race, 2 laps to go, I was like, I'll just outkick this kid. And that's just what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking like, yo, like, let's go, let's race, it's time to go, like, try to drop this kid, put in a surge, try to drop this kid, try to make him tired. I was just sitting on him. I was like, I'll just outkick him. And I was way too cocky. I know that for a fact. Like I said, cross country, I won districts. I broke the school records at my school, which still weren't that great, but still, I had a big head, and I regret that so much, but I think it was one of the best things that happened to me, because it put me in my place and told me, like, dude, you're not untouchable, you're not that good. And I needed that. I needed to be beaten, and I needed to have a little bit of heartache, and I needed to be, like, beaten to the ground and be like, listen, dude, you're not that good. And that's what happened. And that summer, I started training so hard going up to Akron, because I knew, like, man, if this is what I'm doing in high school, like, these college guys are going to, oh my gosh, they're going to beat me up. They're going to eat me alive. And so I started training like crazy, and I think that's why I progressed so much going from senior year of high school to college. I think it was because of this race, honestly. If I would have got out in this race, I think I would have been even more cockier. Like, I would have been like, man, I just outkicked him. Like, I'll just do the same thing at regionals, same thing at state. I'll just keep doing it. I needed to be beat and needed to be shown that, like, you're not untouchable. And that is exactly what happened. Here we go. I'll play it for you. I haven't watched this in a while now. Oh, never mind. We were at like 200 meters, but here we are coming in. So these 2 people in the white jerseys are 1st and 2nd. And then there's a dude in green. He's 3rd. And then me and him are going to come in. We're about 50 meters out right now. Full on kick. I mean, that is... And bam, there he goes. He beats me. I don't know why I was wearing a headband either. I didn't know that was a thing. I deserved to be beat. I was wearing like a neon yellow headband. I don't know what was happening. That is it. That is all the high school racing I have to show you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope I installed some wisdom in the last race. But yeah, that was basically it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you guys in the next one.